Here is a brief summary of the wise words Jesus spoke during one of the lectures in Urmia, about freedom, law, and sovereignty. We have translated the context of his message to the situation of the 21st century. Law, freedom, and sovereignty. When one man desires freedom, personal freedom, he must remember that all other men desire the same kind of freedom. Groups of such freedom-loving people cannot live in peace with one another without submitting to laws, rules, and regulations that grant the same degree of freedom to all. These laws and rules must guarantee an equality of freedom for all other fellow human beings. If one person wants to be absolutely free, that is, to be free without laws and rules, then someone else will come to absolute slavery. The fact is that freedom in the social, economic, and political spheres is relative in nature. Freedom is the gift of civilization, made possible by the coercive imposition of laws. Religion makes it spiritually possible to realize the brotherhood of man, but a government of humanity will be needed to settle the social, economic, and political problems associated with this goal of human happiness and efficiency. There will be wars and rumors of wars, nations will rise up against nations, because political sovereignty in your world is divided among nearly 200 different nations, each with its own interests. England, Scotland, and Wales constantly fought among themselves until they renounced their fictitious sovereignty and made it reside in the United Kingdom. After World War II, so-called sovereign nations formed a kind of overarching federation, creating a security apparatus to prevent small wars between smaller nations. But world wars will continue until the government of humanity is formed. Only world sovereignty will prevent world wars, nothing else can bring this about. The 50 American states live together in peace. The citizens of these 50 states include people from all different nationalities and races. These Americans represent almost all religions and religious sects from all over the wide world, and yet they live together in North America in relative peace. All this has become possible because these 50 states have given up their sovereignty and abandoned all ideas of supposed rights to self-determination. It is not a question of arming or disarming. If you take away from the strong countries their modern armaments and all kinds of explosives, they will fight with fists, stones, and clubs as long as they hold on to their illusions regarding their God-given right to national sovereignty. The great, terrible disease of man is not war, war is a symptom, a result. The real disease is the virus of national sovereignty. No country on earth has ever known true sovereignty, they have never known a sovereignty that could protect them from the ravages and devastation of world wars. When nations come together to form a world government of humanity, rather than sacrificing their sovereignty, they will actually create an enduring world sovereignty that will be able to fully protect them from all wars from then on. Local affairs will be handled by local governments. National affairs by national governments. International affairs will be handled by a world government. World peace cannot be maintained by treaties, diplomacy, foreign policy, alliances, balance of power, or any other form of juggling with which people try to get by for want of better. Law must be created for the whole world, and this law must be imposed and enforced by a world government, the sovereignty of all humanity. Individual man will enjoy much greater freedom under a world government. Today the citizens of the great world powers are taxed, regulated, and almost oppressively controlled. Much of the present interference with individual freedoms will disappear when national governments are willing to place their sovereignty over international affairs in the hands of a world government. Under a world government, national peoples will truly have the opportunity to realize and enjoy the personal freedoms of a true democracy. The delusion of self-determination will lose force when finance and trade are regulated on a global scale. Through interdependence, there will be understanding, and then there will be opportunities to develop a new era of peace throughout the world. Also, a global language can then develop. Collective security will never bring peace until collectivity encompasses all humanity. The political sovereignty of a world government over all mankind will bring lasting peace on earth. And the spiritual brotherhood of men will ensure forever the benevolence among all men. And there is no other way by which peace on earth and benevolence among men can be realized.